Hello and welcome to the Restricted Area Podcast, where we discuss all things NBA and now WNBA from this past week. As a reminder, you can hear this podcast a day before it can be seen on YouTube by checking out Amazon, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. To get you started, I'm your host, Alex Perez, joined by producer Colton Smith. Logan Hatfield could not join us because the Spurs and Grizzlies game was some important business he had to take care of. So we will see him hopefully in the next one. But Colton, how are we doing?
Yeah, I can't believe he went to go watch Victor Wembanyama potentially play. I don't even know if he's on the IR or not today, but just the potential of seeing Wemby play. I can't believe he chose that over being here with us on the podcast. Just absolute lunacy.
It's crazy. Yeah, he and Jaw are both on game time decisions, so haven't checked in since earlier, but I know Logan's sweating it out right now. Yeah, I went to
Yeah,
the Indiana Spurs game and Wemby decided not to play in that one, so that was awesome. He didn't even make the
gotta
trip,
love
so
it.
I didn't even get to take a picture. That's all
And
right though.
Wemby's been out the last like two of the last three games, I think, because he had like a little knee scare or
Yeah,
something. So I don't know. Coincidences.
doing all right though, Golden. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. Just been a busy holiday season. So I'm kind of happy to. It was relaxing and then not relaxing at the same time. Like I'm getting back into like my daily routine now of working and then working out and then getting home, and it's like, oh wow, I didn't realize how good I had it. There's like week or so off from it, so it's been interesting. But yeah, it's just been learning some of the new stuff I got for Christmas and doing that. How about you?
Pretty much the same. The holidays tend to make me a little more lazy than I already am. So
Hmm.
I guess that's what they're supposed to do. But getting back in the swing of things now, actually trying to be productive each and every day instead of just relaxing and eating as much food as I possibly can. So hopefully I can get back on the right track.
I hear you.
But we will go ahead and get started. Another week of interesting action. What stood out to you?
So the thing that stood out to me was the Phoenix Suns. They've won six of their last eight games, including an 18-point comeback versus the Thunder, game winner from D Book. They have a 21-15 record on the year, which is only good for seventh in the West right now. But they keep at this pace. They obviously climb the ladder. The revelation for me is Dylan Brooks. I mean, he has flipped the Grizzlies. He flipped the Grizzlies narrative in Houston, but he has taken it to an entirely different level this season, averaging a career high by far 21.2 points per game, having his most efficient season from the field and second most efficient season from behind the arc. But here's a little advanced stat I found interesting here. Brooks has gone into isolation 8.8 times per 100 possessions, and the Suns have scored 1.17 points per possession when he goes into isolation. That has led to directly a shot, turnover, or trip to the line. That is fourth amongst the 50 players that qualify in that stat. So the Dylan Brooks isolation is a pretty good way to go. And D Book, I'm not really going to talk about him. The one thing I will mention is that the D Book pull up is one of the worst shots in the NBA right now. He's only shooting 26% of his pull up 3-point jumpers despite taking 115 so far this year. He's still averaging a good 25 points per game, but the efficiency is just not there for D Book. He's shot chucking. I mean, he's done that most his career, so I don't really know what's different this year. But one thing to circle back to Devin, not Devin Booker. Come on. It would be Mr. Dylan Brooks. My brain just had a aneurysm going back and forth from them. But no, not even mentioning the defensive impact, though, of Dylan Brooks. This team is the most improved defensive team in the NBA this season, going from 28th in defensive rating to ninth in defensive rating. The offense is stagnant, sitting at 15, but I think once D Book figures out his efficiency issues, that can improve. I don't know, looking at the team structure, if there's really anybody who can take that next leap. Mark Williams is also helping, but that rebounding is not really there. Not just with Mark Williams, with the team overall. Just the stats haven't been there to start the year. Regardless, I think all things considered, you have D Book not having his most efficient scoring. You have Dylan Brooks having one of the best seasons, probably the best season of his career at the age of 30. Uh, you take that all together, they're 21-15 with probably room to grow, at least on the Devin Booker side of things. Hey, this team could end up getting out of the play-in and winning a series or something. I don't know. It's very interesting, the career of Dillon Brooks, the perception around Dillon Brooks, because he is a player that if I had a podcast back in when he came in the league, what, 2018, 2017, that
Mhm.
era, I would have been in some hot water throughout the 2020s because I was really high on Dillon Brooks coming into the league, and I was kind of thinking, well, I mean, he worked out in some ways, but he definitely didn't reach the potential I had for him. Well, this is the Dillon Brooks I kind of thought was happening, and I know there's no proof of that. But I was very high on him before all the personality and whatnot. So it's interesting to see him kind of take leadership of this team. I also saw a video of him greeting all the Rockets players from last season, his teammates from last year, and talking to pretty well each and every one of them. So I found that to be an interesting side of Dillon Brooks that maybe the media doesn't want you to know about.
Yeah, I think your brain was actually trying to help you out earlier because the sentence didn't really make sense. As we know, basketball for the most part, Dylan Brooks being efficient while Devin Booker is not really something that we're used to. So your brain, I think, was just trying to help you out there. But yeah, shout out to Dylan Brooks. Not one of my favorite players, as we all know, but he has done the work to improve and become a great isolation scorer. Dylan Brook Island, I did not see that coming, but apparently you don't want to be on it.
Yeah.
Devin Booker, I think that efficiency will get better. I think once they realize they actually have a chance to make the playoffs and maybe even avoid that play in, I think Devin Booker will start taking games a little bit more seriously and go back to the don't double team me type of Devin Booker we all have come to love. But yeah, it's a very frustrating team to play night in and night out. They're kind of like the Trailblazers in that way. Very frustrating, very good defensively. And Dylan Brooks is an irritant, but one who's very good. It's not one who can't like back up what he's talking about, like maybe one in Golden State. But anyways, good stuff from them. I really hate every time the Lakers play the Suns because apparently Luka doesn't hate the Suns anymore, and Dylan Brooks does hate LeBron James, and I think everybody with a Lakers jersey on. So I don't think the Lakers will beat them this year. So good stuff. But yeah, it is very impressive what the Suns are doing. Did you have anything else?
Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to talk about was the whole Trey Young situation. It's been very much talked about over the past couple of weeks, but it got fully flame shit hit the fan, levels of
Mm-hmm.
his agents, Aaron Mintz, Drew Morrison, and Austin Brown are working with the franchise on a trade. Sources tell ESPN. They have actually been talking about it for about a week now. So that was a big report from Shams that has gotten the talk started. And I think pretty soon after that, the Wizards got talked about as a team. That's apparently the front runner in the Trey Young sweepstakes. For the record, the Wizards actually have the same record in the last 11 games as the Thunder. So if you look at it in a vacuum, maybe they are championship contenders. However, God, Wizards and championship contenders just came in the same sentence. That's not okay. On the season, if you look at them, and I don't know why this is taking so long to load, the Wizards currently sit at 9-25. They passed
Mm-hmm.
the Pacers.
Those old heads are still not getting those wins as much as they need to.
So I don't know what the Wizards think they're going to like cook up here, but they're a little late unless Trey Young gets the team on like a 20-game winning streak. In which case, more power to you. What do you think about the Wizards? I know where you want Trey Young to go. I don't even know if you want Trey Young though, right? Like,
And, yeah, I was about to say. Also, I don't know why the Hawks would even trade with Washington because who are they sending to them? That's not old and totally the antithesis of what they're building right now. But to answer your question, no, I'm good without him and as a Laker because Luca, him, and LeBron all trying to play defense right now. I don't think it's the best recipe to be a championship contender. I don't really know how him and Luca would work, anyways. So I think I'm okay. I'm okay
that would
on
be
Trey Young.
ironic them being on the same team though.
But I did, yeah, I did have a couple teams I wanted to throw out there and just get your overall temperature on. The five I
Mhm.
have that I think would be interesting are Boston, Orlando, Milwaukee, Phoenix, or Dallas. Any of those hold any weight for you?
Milwaukee is a very interesting one. I don't know what they do to make that happen. It's kind of like putting Damian Lillard back up against him. I mean, let me not disrespect my boy Dame like that, but Trey Young is an outstanding shooter and a good playmaker, better playmaker than Damian Lillard for sure. Um, I do like Milwaukee. I like the Celtics when you said that. I question the overall fit. I feel like it would work. I don't know. It's such a weird because I just don't know what Trey Young is as a basketball player anymore. It's just been so long since I've seen
That's
him
fair.
play winning basketball. I don't know what he looks like on a winning team like that. You said the Celtics and Bucks. What were the other two you said?
Orlando, Phoenix, and Dallas.
Orlando's been in the Trey Young rumor mill for a while. Uh, and that's what they need, right? Is
For
some
sure.
scoring, especially with the unfortunate turn of Paolo Banchero to start this year. They could use some scoring on that team, but you've already given up a lot to get Desmond Bain on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be able to? Are you going to make that push to get Trey Young? What is the Trey Young value on the market? I don't know. I think if I'm the Magic, I'm looking, but I don't know if I'm going all in on Trey Young because there's more issues than just Trey Young. You could argue that if the team around him was a little better in terms of offensively, there wouldn't be as much. In terms of Paolo Banchero, there wouldn't be as much pressure on him to be such a great offensive player,
Yeah.
and thus him falling short. But still, it's just been a disappointing start for him out there in Orlando. And then you said Dallas.
Yeah.
That's probably the most likely one, right? That's
I think
probably
so.
that's probably the one that'll end up making the move. Like, just is that an Anthony Davis swap, or what are you thinking there?
It, I think that would make the most sense that they want to move on from Anthony Davis. I think they have made that very clear. And I think they, even before this trade talk came out, that there were rumors of him either going to Detroit or Atlanta. So this would make a whole lot of sense for them. I think uh, they have Porzingis, right? So maybe not, but unless you include him in the trade. But
Well, they both like play about half the season, so they could.
that's true. Yeah, they're just filling each other where they each other are missing. But yeah, I think the ones that make the most sense to me are like Boston because I feel if you don't have to go Tatum or Brown, it's just the solid role player. Like your third option being Trey Young, that's a
That's a
pretty
pretty
good
good
third
third
option.
option. And
And
you could make the salary work with Anthony Simons, who hasn't quite panned out as maybe they thought he would have. I feel like you can make that salary match and get something more. I don't know what they're not going to go obviously Trey Young for Simons, but
right,
what's like something they could sweeten the deal with? I could see that. I see that happening too.
and they're solid defensively. I mean, the Celtics still have a ton of picks. I'm pretty sure, especially
Mhm.
after trading Drew Holiday and everybody they traded
True.
last offseason, Porzingis
Ooh.
and others. So I think they could really make this happen. That would be the one I think I would be most interested to see.
Mhm.
But Orlando would probably be second on that list because the defensive pieces they would have around him would shore up any defensive liability that Trey Young obviously is, and
Mhm.
would give them the scoring boost that they so desperately need right now. Milwaukee, I'm not hoping for any Doc Rivers or Darvin Ham success, but uh, might be solid for them. I don't know if it gets them out of the bottom of the East like they're currently in, so I don't know if that's a move you really want to make. And then
Mhm.
back to Orlando really quick. Do you throw Desmond Bain back in that trade? Because I don't know that I would hate that.
I don't know that I would hate that either because I would say Trae Young is a better version of what they wanted Desmond Bain to be. I think they
Hmm.
maybe had unrealistic expectations for what the player of Desmond Bain would be in that, not in the sense of how good he is, but just in the sense of how he fits in that offense. I think you need Trae Young. I don't think he's as much of a score on my own type of guy. It helps. He's I don't know. I haven't watched enough Magic games to fully give like what's going on in Orlando, as you can probably have tell by how I've talked. But I feel like Trey Young both. is able to score on his own and can help others score, make it easier for others to score while also facilitating the ball very well. And I don't know that Desmond Bain has that aspect of his game, at least yet. And I think that's what's kind of holding back the Magic. So yeah, I mean, from a objective stance, I would go ahead and do that. I'm not sure if the Magic GM wants to make such a rash decision.
That's fair. Yeah, Phoenix and Dallas I threw there just because that would be fun to see them build for the future with that piece. But the Orlando, Milwaukee, or Boston I think would be the most fun and set them up for to be in contention right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that was actually one of my storylines, so that works. And I'll.
Storyline.
You didn't have any more, did you?
No.
Okay. We will go ahead and move on to my other one, which was Unrivaled is back. The WNBA 3x3 League is back and starting season 2. And just wanted to run down a breakthrough of the games in case you all weren't able to watch the season debut on Monday. The Mist beat the Hive, the one of the two new teams, 72-56. Alicia Gray had 21 points, and Alana Smith had 10 points and 5 blocks for the Mist. Uh, they also have somebody named Brianna Stewart on the team, so I think the Mist are going to be pretty good in that league this year. The second game of the day was the Laces beating Vinyl 58-42. Brittany Sykes, the microwave that she is, went for 15 in the third quarter. 15 of her 19 points was in the third quarter, and that's the quarter where you set the score to reach at the end of that quarter. So that really helped propelled them to that win. And then Jackie Young, the ultimate winner that she is, she had 15, and a lot of that came in the fourth quarter to kind of ice that game away. And then the third game, the Rose hung their championship banner from last season, from the inaugural season, as they played the Lunar Owls. They beat them 80-60. The Lunar Owls without Nafisa Collier for the season because of knee injuries, and they decided to go ahead and move forward with the operations on her. So she will unfortunately miss this season and hopefully be back and ready for the WNBA season. But Skylar Diggins is somebody else that's on the Owls who is hurting and on the bench as of right now. So they have help on the way. It's just not there yet. But the reigning champs, the Rose, are not hurting. Chelsea Gray, she went from winning with Vegas this past season to winning right here. 35 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. She's making a statement and making it loud. She wants that MVP in this unrivaled league this year. And then another new team, the Breeze, beat the Phantom 69-62. Aaliyah Boston played well for the Phantom with 18 points, but Kelsey Plum went 5 of 17. I expect her to go a lot better than that in those 3x3 because she's played Olympic 3x3 before. So I definitely expect that efficiency to get much better in the coming weeks. But then for the Breeze, Dominic Malonga, somebody who was a rookie this past season in the WNBA, went for 15 and 14 rebounds. And then Paige Beckers, somebody we may have heard of before, first game in Unrivaled, dropped 24, had 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and maybe the most impressive thing, 2 blocks. She was not letting anything fly on the offense or defensive end. If it didn't go through her, it wasn't going. So shout out the Unrivaled League, a very exciting opening day and then opening night. Olympic 3x3, take notes. You all could be so much more fun, just like the Unrivaled League is. Colton, did you watch any last season?
I'll be honest, I did not. I had heard it was like happening, and when it's college basketball season, a lot of things get pushed aside, and
Makes
then
sense.
Unrivaled was definitely one of them. So I'm definitely catching up. I'm looking at this Breeze team. We got Paige, we got Cameron Brink, and Kate Martin all in the same squad.
Yeah, that's a tough team.
That is a tough team right there, and I can't. Brink and Martin aren't even starters yet, so
And they have Haley Van Lith in the developmental pool too. So if somebody gets injured on that team, she steps up and she's on the Breeze. So
really,
yeah,
this is interesting.
it may be a
Okay.
breeze for that team this season, if we're being honest. Something light I just cooked up. But yeah, Unrivaled is going to be very fun. 6 out of the 8 teams make the playoffs. and then they have All Star Weekend, do some one-on-ones. So something the NBA should incorporate. But again, we won't go there. I can't wait for NBA All Star Weekend this year. It's sure to be so much fun.
I always can't wait for that weekend. It's my favorite weekend. I've never had a complaint about that weekend in my entire life.
I love it so much. But yeah, we will
Yeah,
look
this
forward.
is fun. I
Oh
like this.
yeah,
I like the how young teams like Page or young players, good lord, uh, have this opportunity to just showcase their skills on a different level. Like that Dallas team may not be good for a little bit, unless Page just goes off, but just being able to see them in this different light with a different team. And like you said, some players that had a quiet rookie year, they came in here and they have a louder rookie year.
hmm
So it's a great way to just keep them fresh. And um, yeah, this is awesome.
it's a great way to highlight them and pay them. They all get what are
Not even
considered
mentioning that,
WNBA
yeah.
max contracts. So shout out to everything Unrivaled is doing. And this may be the last WNBA we see for a while. So I'm going to enjoy this while it lasts because, according to Nafisa Collier last night, the WNBA CBA talks are not going great. So going to relish this at least for now.
Let's just do unrivaled all year round.
I'm for it. I'm sure they might actually try to cook something up. Honestly, we'll see. Uh, but we will go ahead and move on to our NBA Power Rankings, where we list the top 5 teams after another week in NBA action. Colton, who you got?
Let me pull up my trusty dusty notes here. So this was I told Alex before the show, this was like the hardest power rankings I have made in my life. I've made quite a few in my day. And it was like everybody at the on this list, I don't have really a reason other than one team is hot. But the rest of them are just kind of like they've been good throughout the year, so I'm gonna leave them up here. But they've just looked ugly this past week or two. Injuries have caused some of it, and a couple. The OKC is one that just had like 2 or 3 back to backs, and that's kind of been a major cause of their losses. That's not wasn't the case last night, but regardless, here is my power rankings. I have the Lakers at 5, and I just kind of slotted it in there by default. Looking at the standings, they're third in the West, so I'm going to take the third best team in the West. At this point, as opposed to the third best team in the East. So at number 4, I have 2 Eastern Conference teams this week. Boston will take the number 4 spot for
Okay.
me, 8-2 in their last 10 games, second in the Eastern Conference. How about them C's? I went a little more in depth on them a couple of weeks ago, and they've done nothing but prove it right. Jaylen Brown, I'll talk about him a little bit later, but pretty insane game against the Clippers. So they're not necessarily beating the cream of the crop, but they're winning games, and that's all you can ask for. That's really all you needed to get into the power rankings this week was be above average and winning games as of recent. I think they had the best by far last 10. OKC slides down to number 3 for me. They are 5-5 in the last 10 games, mostly against good teams, but and like I said, you have that asterisk of well, 2 of them were back to back, so I do usually give people a pass on that, but I just think the next 2 have maintained while the OKC has kind of slipped a little bit here recently. Detroit I have at number 2, safely atop the East. 3 of their top 8 players are hurt. They dropped the game to the Heat, but all in all, they're maintaining pace. And San Antonio, they are my number 1 team. Wimby had a scare. We talked about he's had been out for a couple of games on that. They've been maintaining. They've been staying alive, and that's really all I can ask for this week. Nobody has been. Denver is not on my list. They have fallen off of a cliff because Jokic has been out. So I mean, I guess that'll do it. They got Braun and Gordon back, but that can only do so much without sheer offensive engine. So they'll be back up here whenever Jokic returns. I'm not sure what the timetable. I think he was day to day and just happened to miss a couple games, or he's not.
No, he's out another 3 weeks.
Oh, okay,
He's had a full month. Yeah, it's been a week now, but he's had a full month. They're gonna dip, but
okay.
like congratulations to whoever has to play them in the play-in if they fall that far
Yeah,
down.
for real. That's
Congratulations to the 1 or 2 seed that'll have to play them.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be that. I wouldn't want to be that team. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. So the Lakers are going to be a 1 or 2 seed, aren't they?
Yeah, that every time. That's how it'll work.
All right, can't wait for that. But what do you got as your power rankings for this week?
For five, I have Boston. Boston, you're supposed to be bad. Please be bad. Um,
Yeah, this is a
20,
rebuilding year.
23 and 12, second in the East. Winners of 8 of the last 9. There's not much else you can say. They're winning as with Jalen Brown as the top option, and really just a whole lot of teamwork and friendship, kind of like OKC had been doing for most of this year. Boston's doing that now. Four, I have Denver. I do have them. I wasn't as harsh on them, I feel, because Jokic is out, and
Sure.
they still won 2 of those games. So, uh, 24 and 12, third in the West. And then at three, I have the Spurs, 25 and 10, second in the West, and winning even though Wemby's been in and out of the lineup. Shout out the Pacers game, but maybe tonight we'll see. If not, look for him to have a big game against Triple J. Uh, Either way, neither here nor there. The second game, second one on my power rankings is the Pistons, 27 and 9, as you said, firmly in control of the East. 3 of the last 4 wins: the Lakers, the Cavs, and the Knicks. Um, Pretty impressive stuff. And like you said, 3 of the top 8 players they have are out. The Lakers aren't winning games like that with 3 of their top players out,
Oh God.
as we see with Austin Reeves and Rui being out, and that's like option 4 and 5. So shout out to the Pistons winning regardless of what the roster looks like. And number one, I still have OKC. Maybe just looking at the season overall and still expecting them to probably win the title, but 30 and 7, first in the West. The spot is getting a little shaky though. I will admit that. Losses to the Suns, who we admitted is a good out, like it's a tough out every time, but then you lost to the Hornets, and there's no excuse for that. And they lost convincingly to the Hornets, so it's really not something you should be doing if you're going to be a team that competes for a championship. Also, shout out Devin Booker for his Instagram post after they beat the Thunder.
I did not see
Pretty
that.
pretty funny. Yeah, Caruso and Dort were like reaching for his game-winning shot. It's pretty good picture. Pretty good picture. But yeah, OKC still stands atop my power rankings
Yeah.
for now,
For
but it's
now,
getting shaky.
it's getting a little
Uh,
shakier.
we will move on now to our NBA pick'em, where we pick our winners for the biggest game of the week in the association. Thursday, 8 p.m. on League Pass is Cavs at T Wolves. Who do you got
Hmm.
in that one, Colton?
I just want to go with the team that I've been higher on. Feel like they've been doing better. I'm gonna go with the Timberwolves. Also, well, yeah, probably the best player on the floor. You can argue D Mitch on that one, but I'll say best player on the floor. Give me the Timberwolves to take that one.
If the teams keep going the way that they are, especially in future seasons, I don't think that argument will be very hard to make anymore. I do say Anthony Edwards is better, and for that reason and some others, I do feel like the T Wolves are going to win this game. I think the T Wolves are what the Cavs want to be in terms of identity,
Yeah,
and the T Wolves are executing that perfectly. And well, perfectly may be a stretch, but they're definitely executing it better than the Cavs are.
pretty well. Yeah, for sure.
So I will take them here. And then the other game is Saturday at 7 p.m. Spurs at Celtics. Who do you got for that one?
Ooh, that's a good one because the Celtics are definitely the hot team right now. I would say if I knew Wimby was going to be in there, I would automatically go Spurs on that. But the Celtics have been really hot, and man, I gotta think. I'll rock with the team I got on the number one on the power rankings. I'll go with the Spurs, but the Celtics will be no easy feat there. I think that's what the most impressive thing with Wimby missing this time. Last year we saw them fall off a cliff from like a borderline play-in team. I think when Wimby got hurt, to not that, and seeing this team without Wimby performing well, not just staying close in games but winning games. I think that's probably the most impressive thing from the Spurs this year, seeing that growth. Stephon Castle, man, if I have ever hit the nail on a head on a prediction, it is Stephon Castle. You can go look back at the tapes. I was high on him in the draft. I thought he had the highest ceiling of anybody in that draft, and he's proven that so far. But no, enough patting myself on the back. I'll stick with the Spurs on this one. Alex, who you got?
Boston's a tough place to play, but the Spurs are identical in terms of record on home and road records. So uh, I think that's just a testament to how well they've played this season and how much they haven't really relied on one person like Wemby. So I think the Spurs get it done just because they're deeper, and the Celtics don't really have much to throw at Wemby. He may have a big game in this one, honestly.
Trying to think of who they had to throw.
I
They would have had Luke Cornett, but they stole his ass.
was about to say a bunch of guys who have blank faces on 2K. I know that. They don't have a lot of name recognition down there in the post. So yeah, give me the Spurs in this one, and then we will go ahead and move on to our shooting star, where we pick our baller of the week. Colton, who you got?
Staying in Boston, I alluded to it earlier. Jaylen Brown, 50 points versus the Clippers, best performance in the last week. So I'm gonna give it to him, continuing to just prove any doubters that he could be a number one option. I'll say I had a little doubt in it. I thought he'd do well. I didn't think he'd do this well, and he's just shutting us all up and doing his thing. Got them second in the East right now. I mean, I can't say it's all on Jaylen Brown's shoulders, but a lot of it for sure is, and very impressive seeing what JB. It makes me wonder what would have happened if he didn't sign that max extension and ended up going somewhere else.
That's a very interesting question. But yeah, am one of those who was like, maybe it's not going to work out. Maybe they're going to be tanking really hard. They're not. When Tatum comes back, oh boy, it's going to be
Oh,
something. But my shooting star is Chelsea Gray. Again, 35 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals, making her claim early for the MVP and unrivaled. So shout out to her, somebody who plays kind of like Draymond Green, like they have a backpack on, and they're 45 years old, but she's crafty. She gets it done, and 35 points, even in 3 on. Well, I think especially in 3 on 3,
yeah,
is
especially.
something crazy. So shout out to her. She just was lights out, and I don't expect that to change much at all this season. And that will do it for this episode of the Restricted Area Podcast. Thanks, Colton, for being on. Follow the show's YouTube at CX Restricted Area, and follow the CX crew on all socials at CX Pod Network. Follow me on Twitter at the Will Dill and Colton at Colt_45. That's 3 T's, by the way. And thanks for listening and watching. And until next week, like a George Gervin finger roll, be smooth.
Ooh.